Here are my thoughts on the Dracula Netflix series. I really love the first two episodes. I'm really big on the original story of Dracula, so I feel like they did a really good job with that. I kind of like and don't like that Dracula is stealing the literal youth from Jonathan Harker. So he goes from being this creepy old man with long hair to this much younger looking man who's a lot more suave and charming and sort of looks like the type of guy you can trust, but since it's Dracula, you obviously can't. I like it in the sense that he's a vampire, so he's not just stealing blood, like he says, blood is lives. He's stealing the life from Jonathan Harker. But I appreciated the creepy old man Dracula more than the younger guy Dracula. Jonathan Harker is explaining to these two nuns how he escaped from Dracula's castle and what happened to him, because he basically looks like the rotting flesh of a zombie. And so the first episode takes place mostly in Dracula's castle. I really like that. It's definitely dark and spooky, and it's like a maze that you can never find your way out of because one room leads to another. So you're never able to remember where you're going or where you've been, and there's no map of the castle. One of the nuns ends up being the Van Helsing character for this story, and at first I didn't really like her attitude. Her character just seems off for a nun, but it does make more sense later. And lots of things happen. These are an hour and 15-minute episodes each, so I could go on and on. Moving on to episode 2, Dracula and Agatha Van Helsing are playing chess and discussing what Dracula's next move is, but you're a little confused because you weren't able to see exactly what happened to Agatha and Jonathan Harker's wife, Mina. But the story continues. Dracula gets aboard a ship with a crew and passengers, slowly picking each of them off. Everyone on board the ship grows suspicious of everyone else, and it becomes a big murder mystery that leads right into people discovering that Dracula is a vampire. He's been committing all the murders on this ship, and the mystery of what was in the room number 9, Agatha Van Helsing, who helps them discover the truth about Dracula. With her help, they're able to ward Dracula off for a while until the ship is about to reach port in England. They burn the ship down. 3 survive, Dracula and 2 crew members. Episode 2 ends with a cliffhanger, just like episode 1 did. Dracula swims ashore to be greeted by police officers and the ancestor of Agatha Van Helsing. Episode 3 has to establish a lot of different things in the modern day, which sort of takes me out of the story a little bit and dulls my excitement for the rest of the episode. Really, the main thing I took away from this episode was the fate of Lucy Westenra. I didn't expect around the middle of this episode to be that psychologically disturbing. That visual, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen it, of her screaming while she's dead in her bed and the fly is flying around her face and her mouth and stuff, is creepy. Very creepy. And that whole part just gets worse immediately afterwards, following with the funeral and cremation. Creepy. Overall, I really enjoyed the Dracula Netflix series. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it even. I would recommend that people watch it. It is one of the best series I've seen on Netflix. They used to have It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on Netflix, so not anymore. But I used to watch it on Netflix. Of course I love It's Always Sunny. Now I watch it on Hulu. They still have Trailer Park Boys on Netflix. I would say that's probably the best series. But right under that would be the Dracula Netflix series. 9 out of 10.